Hey, Decathlon Gamer, and welcome back to City Skylines 2. This is episode 28. Last time we reworked the main freeway. The secondary freeway, the smaller one, is in need of a rework, but that's not yet. Maybe an episode from now, maybe two, but there's something else I think we need in the short term that's also going to help on the transportation side. Now, obviously, demand is high right now, but growth is also high right now. We were in the 90 to 100k population range for a long time. We stagnated there. It's jumped to 141,000 and it's still growing. And our finances that had stagnated for a while were at about 205, 206 range for a while, and suddenly they're at 235 and growing rapidly. So we've got money coming in, we've got people coming in, we're still filling out a little bit of the space that's here. And I've already got things in mind for the next expansion. For one, we still have this Westworld side that has, two big vacant areas. And our traffic is good through that area, besides a single exit that has more to do with Croissant Island than it has to do with Westworld, and that might still need more looking at. And I'll have to check in again and see how that's doing, because we've certainly done things to help with that situation, but they haven't necessarily helped in that situation, at least not yet. But anyway, we have that big pocket in Westworld, but we also still have this huge area in the north, and we already have some of the tiles even. That's our next big expansion area where we can bring in lots of people. But before we do that, we have got to be on top of traffic. That's why we've updated the freeway. That's why we need to update the other freeway. But we've already found that one of the best ways, or if not the best way to move people about, well, and it is now, the best way is the subway. 72k, where the next closest is 45k, and that's half. More than half. And that's just 5 subway lines. We only have access to so many subway trains. So what I'm going to do is, it's time to expand the subway. Essentially want to double it up. Today's going to be all about the spider webbing. We're going to begin with subway, fill that out, get another station where we can, or another yard where we can add more. So we have 15 out of 15 in use. The maintenance hall, that's okay. That's actually not that expensive. Let's just take care of that upgrade. Oh, except for it's going to lead to overlapping items. Oh, because it's another whole-on, awkward building. How the hell are you supposed to fit that in literally anywhere? Off the back side. It's like the only way to make that one work, which means you need to have extra space on the back side. Okay, well, here is the plan then. I'm going to add a second subway yard, and I'm actually going to put it out here in this same area. We're going to add another 15 subway trains. We're going to add the maintenance depot this time, and we've got this nice big pocket over here where we can add that in. Okay, we're going to get the maintenance hall in this time, and yes, there it goes off the back, which we are getting a bit of a hill here, but I think we'll be okay. We'll put it down the middle. Okay, let's also get the extra tracks for the 5 extra vehicles. Now, we need to get it all connected up to the road network and to the subway lines themselves. Let's get the subway lines, and then we will worry about. Let me go ahead and pause while doing this, otherwise we're wasting time and money here.
Thank you, Professor.
All right, so we've got the road hooked up, actually directly from the other subway yard over the freeway, but couldn't get it in there, so we had to divert it this direction and bring the two roads together. But that's okay. That road will allow us to continue on and do something to fill in this area here, make use of it. There are other possibilities still out there. I think there might be oil in here, so we might want to throw something like that down here. I haven't done industry upgrades in a while, or additions in a while. Looks like we do still have another tracks need kind of showing up here. Let's go ahead and take care of that. It's weird that some lines it cares about, some lines it doesn't. Oh, there's already a subway heading out. One train on its way, added to the green line. So that's one. So we have room for 14 more with new routes. Now, one thing to keep in mind is the distinct possibility of a new route for this area. With, one or two trains. We still haven't connected up the subway that's over towards this area. So maybe that's, where we want to kind of bring that together, is up into this neighborhood. So that really could be two lines, maybe two trains each type thing. So adding in 4 more trains there. But that leaves us with 10 more trains, possibly. And we've got nothing in Westworld. We've got nothing in our Croissant Island. I think those are the big additions that we want to get at this point. I think Croissant Island, along with Sea Lion, could be a good connection. And there is a subway station here, I believe. I think it's right on the other side. Yes. Other side of this building there, underground subway station. So linking it up in a cross manner to that station. Okay, so I think that's where we want to put our first one in, running it across Sea Lion, connecting it up there, and then getting to Croissant Island. That'll put 2 stations inside Sea Lion, and then we want to get over here, and we somehow have a vacant spot. I don't know what are we overlapping? I'm seeing an obvious opportunity ahead of me. Sea Lion off in the background. In the foreground, we have another station down here at the edge of the industrial area, coming off the burbs. Seems like a logical thing to try to connect to, unless we want to bring it into Boomtown. But I think I would rather connect it to industrial, because that's where jobs are going to be, right? Well, that was a heck of a project. I couldn't figure out what was going on for the longest time until I realized that this was a forested area and we were trying to go through the forestry zone, so I had to pull it back away so that the tracks were clear. And we finally have an underground line to connect that up. We have the stations in place, so it's time to make our next subway line. Let's see, I had 10 trains to pick from. I don't want 5 on something like this, but we can definitely put 3 trains, I would think, on a route such as this. Okay, so that's our first additional subway line. It adds to the spider webbing as well, now bringing that to 37. I'm going to find that line right away and get it named. Let's see, subway line number 6. And we are going to call that one croissant. Croissant Lion. There we go. And we're going to use 3 vehicles on that line. Alright, so that leaves us with 11 remaining. You can see how our spider webbing of tracks now gets our industrial area, gets our eastern zone, comes through the middle twice, comes around the back edge, and now enters there. But this area, Westworld, is still completely unincorporated when it comes to subway, so we're going to go ahead and make that the next one to work on. Alright, and that creates another loop, 38 out of 50 on our spider webbing. It's connected to the airport, so that connects it up to the other routes. I'm going to have to go and change the name here in a second and the number of trains involved, but it comes into the neighborhood here and then continues along here, up to here, along here, down here, and then comes across our higher area here back to the airport, and that's the loop that's on. So bring subway in. That's 2 new subway lines already, and I think we at this point still have trains to spare, plus the new routes to the north that I want to throw in. So this one is going to be Westworld.
And on to our main feature story. The commercial district is booming as the area.
It's got just 2 trains assigned to it so far. I feel like that should be 3.
You can now shop for
It's only covering 8 miles, but seems like that's gonna. Oh, there we go.
Or so my wife tells me. That's good
Yeah,
for
let's make that 3.
and good for the community.
About the price. So that uses 6 of the 14, leaving us 8 more trains available. And I was wanting to extend routes here and here into the north with 2 and 2 trains each. So that would be 10 of the 14, leaving us with 4 more. Now, what to do for those 4, I'm not sure yet, but did we just have a major... Holy cow, we just had the mother of all accidents here. One of our buses is involved. We got a massive pileup. Absolute massive pileup, and only one waiting for an ambulance. Couple waiting for an ambulance. Most of them are okay, but dang. That is quite the accident. I mean, we've got a motorcycle all the way up here involved in it. Well, I have this plan already in place for what to do up here with the subway to kind of connect it all together at this end, and therefore I want to do something with that, even though the city's not built up around it and I'm not going to necessarily get to it. But let's get some of that road work down and make that happen, which means we need to pick up a few tiles first to help secure the area. Obviously picking up those. Let's also get our area over here and here. Might as well get that for completion, and this isn't too hard to just pick up all of those. It's 3 million. We got 266. At the start of the episode we had 235. So yeah, the money is flowing. Meanwhile we were at what, 141,000? It's up to, or 142 maybe? It's up to 145. So population's still growing despite not adding any new territory in. This is good and quite easy. There we go. So now we own all of this up here. Not instantly filling it out. There's a lot of forest in there, which has possibilities of its own, but I'm not going to bother with that just yet. We do need a solid off-ramp into the area if we are going to do something. So let's begin with a large road, a 6-lane road through here. What is this? Just a little farm. Just a little farm. I'm not gonna worry about that little farm too much, but there's our busy road. Alright, so we've got an under the highway ramp to hook up directly to the freeway that's over there. Then back here we're going to put in another ramp. Regular. That's going to hook up down here. And we want... Alright, so the first 2 ramps are in. We've got a connection over here. Now we can get the station in, and we'll worry about everything else later on. Okay, so Winterfell is the new neighborhood. I haven't zoned it yet, but I've already named it. The area, the new route, I'm not doing 2 routes. I'm going to do just 1 route that tees off and links up a number of routes. It's going to be helpful for us in a number of ways. So the route picks up at the end of our route that goes along towards like Farmville. So it picks up right here at the edge of that one. It's going to now come across under the hill. We've got a station here, and then it's going to come down and link up with our central route that runs through Eugene and Waterworks. And then it's going to come over and hit up Italy or the upper conceded area, the eastern conceded area, to come in for 2 stops here. And it looks like I still need to get power. Not properly hooked up at this point, as all we have is the ramps. So I'll deal with that in a moment. But 2 stations here. On the way back, we're going to hit up the large overground subway station in Conceded, and then head back the way we came to finish the loop there. Meaning it does get into this one, at least one of the directions. Yeah, that's a pretty healthy loop. I think that's going to be used relatively often. For now, though, as Winterfell is unused entirely, I'm not sure how busy the line's going to be, so we're only going to put in 3 trains at the moment, but we're getting closer to having things happening. And it looks like we've got a road here and a road there. That's going to be a good way to connect up our water and power. Okay, so that's a direct hookup now with the transformer station. That gives us power in the area. A lot of traffic exits. Not too many traffic jams, but we're back to having one here. Freeway is still clear. This is just backed up traffic that doesn't have any logical reason. This bus being really patient with pedestrians who are just going. The pedestrians are definitely not waiting their turn. That's all that backup is. Our city's really starting to become something. There are subway trains still available, but none of the subway lines are at max capacity, so we don't need to increase anything with any of them at this point. An express train that runs a big loop might be a good addition. Stop at every stop, though I didn't really put in a ton of stops to use our existing infrastructure. I think that might be a pretty good addition right now. In terms of spider webbing, that just put us at 40. The new subway line, our 9th, has 11 total stops, and we'll call it City Loop. Do not need 7 assigned vehicles. I think we'll do 4. It's a one-way. We need to call that City Express or Gamerville. The city name. There we go. Express Loop. Okay, so from the large map, the large overview, we have our big overground subway station. Route starts there, hits up Little Manhattan, hits up Sea Lion, hits up the airport, hits up the observation tower, hits up the edge of Boomtown, gets a station in the industrial area, and then jumps over to the edge of Farmville, and one last stop along there before then connecting up to Waterworks and then back. So it's just fewer stops, one big circular loop around the city. Doesn't hit every area, but it gets you around a little bit faster if you need to get to the opposite side. Let's say you're in Woodland Park and you want to get to Westworld. Well, you take the express train to the airport. Fewer stops, it gets there faster, and then from the airport you hop on the Westworld train and you get to where you need to go. So this is going to allow mobility through the city a lot easier and should help with traffic flow. One thing I'm trying to get feel for at the moment is what the icons that are popping up are. A lot of these are high rent, but there's a lot of housing options, and that's just a real world problem. Hardly anybody can afford where they're living. At least certainly with the inflation levels and the housing crisis that we are experiencing in the United States, it's incredibly common, especially where I'm at, where it's at its worst, and as a result, homelessness is the three cities that it's worst in. I'm in the suburbs of one of those, so Portland, Seattle, LA are easily the worst when it comes to homelessness in the United States, and that does spill over into my area. Even though I'm technically in Washington, in Vancouver, there are plenty of homeless individuals over here as well, and I wish we would do more. But anyway, back to this. So ignore the high rent. I actually feel like I should just about turn that off. Ignore the lack of high skill labor. A lot of the labor is because people are going for the university education, which is moving us away from the industrial. And we have the prep for more industrial, but that's the only thing that's not getting demand, that in office. It's commercial. And you can see the medium and high density demand have gone up a lot, so we can definitely squeeze some of that into the new neighborhood or into Westworld, which is definitely not filled up just yet, but that's a lot of the icons we're getting. Now we still have this last pocket for the air pollution that we haven't taken care of. We should be doing that soon, especially as we go and expand into another area yet again. There's a few demands around for hearses, but it's not bad. We're doing much better. People die. Like, that's normal. That's a given. We're getting a little bit of air pollution on the edge next to the industrial, even though it's upwind, it's proximity, it's close. Garbage piling up in this area. It seems to be the size. Like, we have the trucks, but the trucks seem to fill up before they get to it, and then they're gone. We are getting a little traffic jam right here. Not too bad. It's moving. But that big freeway rework might be coming in the next episode. It's still showing the airport having not enough electricity. Not sure literally anything that can be done about that. But this is cleared up mostly. I mean, there's a constant flow of traffic, but most of that's headed for the cargo harbor. There is a bit at the off-ramp here. I'm not sure how that's a traffic jam. Yes, that's traffic coming off the freeway there, but it's not severe. It's just really problematic is some of it wants to go this way and hit up Grove Street instead of just turn right and go, and having to come across the intersection. It's just taken that little bit longer with light traffic around. There's just too many that are being patient instead of just getting out there and driving. Like I said, that's a minor backup. Yeah, we're looking at kind of the same things. There's a no car access, but nothing worrying. I mean, if you turned off the high skill labor and the high rent, almost all of the icons around the city just vanish. The garbage one bothers me, but we already noted that there is plenty of trucks that aren't even being used to go out and gather the trash. So that's really a systemic problem with the game, that it's not keeping up, because our infrastructure to handle it is sufficient, more than sufficient. It's just not being utilized properly. That should come in time with an update. But we've already got the land for the north. We've already started to piece in the infrastructure for the area and what to do with all of that. So I think we're going to want to utilize that fairly soon and put our next neighborhood in here, especially with the demand that we have right now. But we also have Westworld waiting to at least zone in the next piece. That'll be next episode. Likewise, that freeway. I think those are the next two big projects. Spiderwebbing wise, we've got to 40 out of 50 as we add in this new neighborhood stuff throw in a few more bus routes, and we'll be pushing right towards that 50. We're 80% of the way there on that one. That is going to do it for this episode, though, of Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.